Since 1988, Armenia has been in the state of war with Azerbaijan and Turkey. There have been a number of challenges since the conflict restarted with Azerbaijan. And since 1988, Armenia had to find ways of resilience and how to fight on two fronts. And this is how slowly yet steadily Armenia had to come up with different formulas of resilience against these two nations. And in the beginning of the 1990s, when the conflict with Azerbaijan was looming large, Armenian society had to bring together different resources, different ideas, different strategies in order to fight against Azerbaijan, its occupation of Nagorno-Karabakh, and the very painful war that Armenia had to go through against Azerbaijan, and the blockade against that Turkey has imposed on Armenia. In 1994, when the ceasefire was signed with Azerbaijan and Russia, Armenia had some time to rethink some of the strategies, to learn the lessons and move on. Starting from 2007, when Armenia has developed its first national security strategy, the first conceptual framework of resilience and societal struggle against Azerbaijan and Turkey have been put in practice. And then in 2020, the first test for this resilience came about. And this when the Armenian nation had to put together some of these best practices to fight against Azerbaijan. But it was not very successful, because in 2016, when Armenia had come up with the first comprehensive defense strategy, which at that time was called Azgbarnak, or Nation Army, had to reach the following objectives. The first one was to make sure that the entire nation is up to serve for the army in different capacity, different forms and shape. But in 2018, when there was change of government, that practice didn't work out, because the new government had different priorities and there was not enough time for national consolidation on this important mission. So the 2020 was a failure on that in that regard. And then came the 2021, when Azerbaijan launched its first large-scale invasion in Armenia, and then it started in 2022 the blockade of Nagorno-Karabakh, and then Azerbaijan started to occupy more and more Armenia's territory. So the entire resilience practices of the nation that have been developed in different shapes and forms until 2018 basically failed. So now, with the fall of Artsakh, with the fall of national priorities, with the fall of national security strategy and concept, and different policies that have been in place, Armenia is now in search for a new comprehensive defense strategy that will reflect past lessons, past practices, but also look forward to live in this region, which remains as challenging for this nation as it was 100 years ago, as it was 200 years ago. So therefore, coming up with new, good, and very good practices and very good policies that can really embrace best practices in the world is the only way forward. So therefore, learning from our friends, from our colleagues, from the nations that share the same faith is the only way to move forward.